Walker, KO, Walker, KO, Walker, KO, Walker, KO. Boy, white black, bitch, tell me what
This was
let's do it. Man, they think they can see us, man. Get that song with the shit, my niggas. They can't see us, man. Well, see my birds, you understand, nigga. Zone City, whatever.
Generation to generation, dead things buried in that land would come back. There's something else.
Hell, what have you done?
We have to find Timmy.
What's going on, YouTube? We back in the Low Key Cave, Keyshawn Dom's YouTube page, aka the Low Key Cave, aka the Low Key Horror Cave. Yes, man, we got some new horror movies that's been coming out this week. Of course, we had to talk about The Exorcist Believer. I said the beginning, my bad. The Exorcist Believer. We also had another movie connected to a horror franchise, which is the Pet Sematary franchise coming from Stephen King. They tried to do somewhat of a little reboot, I think, 2019, and this prequel is more so based off that 2019 reboot than the original 80s one. But I mean, outside of them switching the fact that they had a little girl dying instead of the little boy as far as the reboot, it really didn't make no difference because that's basically the same exact movie outside of them doing that and the somewhat things they do at the end. But anyway, I only watched that 2019 Pet Sematary one time, so not to say that it was a bad movie, but it was just the fact that I don't like those reboots that do the exact same thing, especially off a movie that's really, really good, and it's like you did the exact same thing. I might not like that reboot or whatever they did with Candyman, but that's more of a spiritual sequel. With that being said, a movie like The Hills Have Eyes, which was a reboot of Wes Craven's Hills Have Eyes, which was an older movie, I think they did that a lot better. I didn't necessarily see that original Wes Craven's Hills Have Eyes, but I know that was such a much of an older version that I think the acting and just the tension was definitely took up a notch. Of course, the gore and stuff as far as what they did with that 2006 version is what I'm saying. But it's just to me a difference between doing reboots and just copying and pasting some shit. Anyway, my bad on my little rant with that. Pet Sematary Bloodlines, man. We are somewhat getting an origin story of Jude, whoever you want to call him, but this is the old guy from the original Pet Sematary. You know, the nigga who pretty much got himself killed by taking old buddy up there after the cat had died or whatever, which might give him the idea to start taking his family up there once his son had died and then his wife had died or whatever. So he had pretty much bought everything on himself once the incident happened with him, with little man's pretty much biting his neck or whatever. But they also pretty much did the reboot, so you know it was a recast or whatever with him. And they, once again, are doing more so of that story from the 2019 version. So we are getting a earlier version of Judd, pretty much his teenage years or whatever. And, well, when I say teenage years, I say probably maybe early 20s, because this is like the aftermath of everybody coming back from war. But he didn't go to war as far as Judd. His father, he pretty much got some type of money. He's pretty much rich. He was able to pretty much keep Judd from going to the war with some type of incident. But the situation with this story is his friends did go as far as Manny and Timmy. So they got stuff going on, especially Timmy. And being that he didn't have to go to war, but now he's trying to sign up for the Peace Corps, it's kind of looking a little crazy as far as his friends go. Being that, you know, he ain't really been around them in years, man, and they went to war and he didn't. But as far as this story go, I thought we was going to more so be focused on just the origins of the gravesite as far as Pet Sematary. I thought they was really going to dive deep into how this came about, you know, the Indian tribes and all of that, how, like, all of that. I thought they was going to really dive deep into that, but nah, this is just basically about Jude and pretty much his relationship between these two friends that he pretty much came up with, and more so than anything dealing with Timmy and him coming back from war and what his father ends up doing with him, because I was paying attention, but my whole thing is I'm guessing Timmy came back dead. Like, hold on, how did he get the body? I know this is the 60s, and yes, this is based around the 60s. This is a prequel, but How did Pops get the body to do what he was going to do? Because that's another issue I have with this movie is the tropes of the whole thing with the town, the mystery in the town, and they know what's going on as far as Pet Cemetery. I'm like, all right, man, here we go. Here we go. It's a damn trope. We getting a trope. Shout out to the cameo with my girl Pam Grier, man. Shout out to us who didn't last long. But yeah, man, this is not effective at all as far as them and what we had with that original. They have never been able to really touch on that. Being that I don't know how you gonna find another little kid to portray a evil zombie kid, but I have a guilty pleasure with Pet Cemetery too with my boy John Connor, aka Edward Furlong. So yay. But anyway, man, another issue I had with this is the fact of the way they do the movement with Timmy. It's supposed to be scary, but that shit is not scary to me at all. It looks stupid and it looks funny as hell. And I'm like, why the fuck is Timmy moving so quick? They speeding up the film. And I'm like, why are y'all doing this? Hold on. Y'all let me know if I'm wrong. When did the whole thing with the zombie people or the people who get buried and come back start having flash type movements as far as moving extra fast and shit? Because as much as they think this shit's supposed to be scary, I mean, maybe it was scary to some people. This is my opinion. This is my review. But maybe it was scary to some people. But when Timmy doing his little, goddamn, like, extra fast movements, like on some Quicksilver shit or whatever, I'm like, what the fuck? It looked funny. It looks funny as hell because he just got, like I said, they got the film moving up fast. It's not like he's got some type of special effects things going on where he's the one moving fast. No, when he moves fast, the thing about it is it looks like everybody is moving fast. That's the thing that makes it look weird and funny, the way they shooting this. Once again, this is just my opinion. I don't know if it could have made it look scary to anybody else, but nah, Timmy wasn't intimidating me. Fuck Timmy. Like straight up. But anyway, man, even with them trying to do this whole thing with the relationship between the father and Timmy, shout out to my guy from the X-Files. I didn't believe y'all need more people. Like, y'all didn't convince me. For one, the movie's not long, and that's a good thing. But you kind of see how this father has basically somewhat of a grudge against Jude, being that he didn't have to go to war, but it's more so of what he has to deal with the fact that his son came back the way he did, but nigga, you did that. You buried your son, and you already know the history with this stuff as far as I know in the way y'all got it portraying, so you knew how this was going to go down. But that's kind of, to me, another hard trope, too, with the whole thing with having, like, that evil kid or that, just that protective individual that's keeping the secret of somebody who's either a killer or this monster figure, whatever, that ends up gonna, that's gonna end up killing them eventually anyway too. But yeah, man, it wasn't nothing captivating about this prequel story. Once again, I was more so looking forward to if they was going to concentrate just on the gravesite itself as far as Pet Cemetery and play more homage or give us more information on the history behind that. And they do little things here and there, but I don't feel like they do enough at all. So the whole thing with the history behind Jude and his friends and that supposed to have some type of emotional connection, maybe. No, I ain't getting nothing from that. Like I said, Timmy's victims, I mean, I ain't care about that either. I ain't care about them. I didn't care. I ain't care about his victims or the people he killed. Once again, they was just there to go, especially Pam Grier's character. Like, they was just there to go. Because once again, that whole trope with the town, the history and all of that, and then really the shit they do with his father at the end and the whole thing, man, it's just some really silly shit. And I was like, I'm okay, man. I know where this is going. I know exactly where this is going. But even with the whole setup with Jude and him trying to leave the town, but you already know he's not going nowhere because of how things play out in the original and in the reboot or whatever. I am curious what happens with this lady. Maybe they said that she left and didn't stay with him, but as far as I know, she did stay with him or whatever. Or maybe Jude does talk about that in the original, and I might have to go back. And I did do a retro review of the original Pet Cemetery. But yeah, man, this definitely didn't have nothing scary about it. I wasn't intimidated at all. Once again, I'm a fan of Pet Sematary, but I feel like they've never been able to capture what they've been able to do with that original. With that being said, like I said, getting a little kid to come in and play an evil zombie baby, that's scary in his own self, let alone the whole thing with the way the baby dies in the movie is scary. So, If y'all had a chance to check out Pet Cemetery Bloodlines, let me know how y'all feel about it. Did y'all learn anything new as far as history behind Pet Cemetery? Do y'all want to see any more films? Because once again, even what I said about the 2019, I think, reboot, that wasn't necessarily a bad movie. They just copied and paste. With this one though, it's like I wanted that origin somewhat story of the Pet Cemetery itself, but y'all still could have brought Jude in there and made it make more sense a little bit. But this whole side story with Timmy, and I think y'all let me know, is that Timmy story somewhere a part of the books or something? And that's why they did that. Let me know, man. But I think maybe y'all should possibly turn Pet Cemetery into a TV show. I think this would probably work if you would turn this into a TV show. Honestly, almost on some like I ain't gonna say an anthology, maybe, because maybe different people in the town dealing with different situations, or people moving into the town that don't know about Pet Cemetery. I think it'll work better like that, and I think it'll actually work better in modern times, 2023, like 2024, whatever. But y'all let me know how y'all feel about that, and let me know if y'all had a chance to check out Pet Cemetery Bloodlines, how y'all feel about this. This is streaming on Paramount Plus right now, so if you got it, you can go check it out. You ain't gotta go to the movies or nothing. But let me know how y'all feeling about this. Make sure you hit that like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that notification bell to let you know when I upload new videos. Make sure y'all come through the Low Key Horror Cave tonight. We doing a live top 10 horror mask. Other than that, we out.